All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to Hour 2 of tonight's show, everyone. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone, and we're coming to you on your hometown radio, Classic 1220, and streamed around the world on classic1220.ca. My guest this hour is Dr. Joan of Angels. She's also known as the Oracle of Ancient Wisdom and Angel of Light. She brings a wealth of experience as a seasoned spiritual advisor, reader, and Cosmic Light Activator, holding a doctorate in chiropractic and an MS in counseling under the name Dr. Joan Hangarter. She seamlessly blends her expertise as an oracle, energetic healer, and spiritual counselor, specializing in transformative journeys of self-discovery. Joan guides individuals to unlock their highest potential and embrace sovereignty. Her website is very simple, Exonation. It is joanofangels.com. Joining me now is Dr. Joan. And Dr. Joan, welcome to the X Zone.
Hello, hello, hello. I am so happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy that you're joining us tonight. And tell us what started you on your transition from a chiropractor to being Joan of Angels.
Right? You would think that that's like an oxymoron in some way.
Yeah.
But in 2013, well, it went back a long time ago but I will just say this. Mm-hmm. In 2013, I was in a place where I felt like I needed a miracle. And I asked the universe, I need miracles. And I thought they'd send me like a check or something. But they sent me a voice, and the voice said, paint 33 angels in 30 days. So I ultimately listened, and I began painting angels. I painted those 33 angels, and 30 days later, a book falls off the bookshelf that it opens to the page that says, your call for angelic assistance has been heard. And so since that time, I started to get angelic guidance. They began to guide me to paint more. They had me move to the desert in 2015 and really have guided my life since then, and told me that I was here to be a paintbrush for the angelic realm so that the humans, all of us, could see them, feel them, touch them, know what they might look like.
So, have you ever seen an angel?
Yes, actually I have. I've seen them several times.
What did they look like? Do they look like the paintings that we see that the great masters have done in the past?
Well, the first one I saw was in a place called Damenher, and it was Metatron, and he was like 100 feet tall, so he was very, very long, and he had no wings. Mm-hmm. He had absolutely no wings, and when I went home and painted him, a friend of mine got very mad at me. She said, all angels have wings, but he didn't. He didn't have wings. And then I did one morning wake up, and I guess I woke up really too early, or earlier than they expected me, and I opened my eyes, and there was a traditional angel in the corner. And that was very beautiful. It's just very loving to feel that energy.
So what did these angels communicate to you when they've appeared to you?
Well, that's such an interesting question. It was such a long time ago, but it was a feeling of peace, a feeling of wisdom. I felt that I was getting downloads of information, especially from Metatron at that time, and kind of a feeling of a sense of destiny that I was being watched over.
Now, I also understand that you've had encounters with extraterrestrials. Can you share some of those with us?
Oh my God. Yes, I've had a few. I one night I went to bed, and all night long these beautiful beings were surrounding me. And the next morning I went to a conference, and there was her name was Cynthia Crawford. She was the ET sculptor, and there she had a table of which those beings that had been surrounding me were on. She sculpted all these extraterrestrials. And I went up to her and I said, I saw these beings last night. And she explained to me that they were downloading information, and I was going to go out and teach about that. So that was one experience I had. I had another experience in my home in Desert Hot Springs in California, where a tall white and another being, I couldn't tell what he was, they took he told me it was a saucer, it was like a saucer taxi that they took down from Joshua Tree because they wanted to see what was going on at my house.
Now the extraterrestrials wanted to see what was going on in your house?
Yeah, what was going on? I guess they were feeling my energy at that particular time. And it was a hop, skip, and a jump, they said, from Joshua Tree down the mountain. And they showed me energetically what their ship looked like. It was like a little saucer taxi cab.
Where was
all I can say.
Yeah, where do you think the mothership was?
Well, their mothership is beyond Joshua Tree. It's up in those mountains back behind Joshua Tree and up, but their base is behind Joshua Tree and underground there.
And why are they here? What is their purpose?
Well, there's some of them that are here to bring that I was told long ago to bring humanity and the extraterrestrial world together, the galactic world together, which will be for the betterment of humanity and the uplifting of all souls here on the planet. So the ones that are really aligned with us energetically, many of them, now some of them don't really care about us. Some of them, I think we're a transit, that, a place they stop as they explore the galaxy.
So they're here working with us to bring peace and harmony into the galaxy?
Well, I think so. There was a download I got years ago that it was about bringing together humans and the extraterrestrials in the galactic realm so that we can see who they are and have a more expansive view of the universe.
So why do you think, Dr. Joan, that only certain people get the opportunity to connect and collaborate and actually interact with these ETs like you did?
I feel like it's a miracle, first of all, that I do, and I'm grateful for it all the time. There used to be something I heard years ago, headblind, people who are headblind, people who refuse to listen, because I'm sure they are sending those messages out to everyone, but some people, some of your audience are more aligned and more in tune with listening, and they can hear those messages, the guidance that's coming through. Others aren't awake yet. They're headblind.
In your opinion, Dr. Joan, do we need to fear the ETs?
No. No, we don't, in my opinion. However, I want to differentiate between those who have been very beneficial to humanity and humankind, and I'm including the angels, the angelic realms. And just like we know that there are amazing angels who are ready to help us, we also know that there are the dark angels that aren't. And so it would be naive to think that all extraterrestrials that come here are our allies. Not all humans here are our allies, so it would be unrealistic to expect that.
Dr. Joan, why do you think that the ETs just haven't made their presence known to everyone? Why is it seems like they like to stay behind the curtain where we can't see them, as in The Wizard of Oz. The wizard was always behind the curtain. Wouldn't it be beneficial to them as well as to humankind if they were just to make their presence known and to prove to millions that, number one, they are there, and the people who have claimed they have been here were right all the time?
Well, I'm waiting for that moment too, Rob. where people like me and you aren't considered crazy for talking about these encounters that we have.
Why do you think people are crazy when they talk about the strange, the weird, the bizarre?
I think people have been trained by society that there's certain subjects like the UFO subject or controversial things that have been going on. So there's a concerted effort for people not to wake up, for people not to be aware that we're connected to the galactic universe, that we have star family, that we have celestial family all aligned with us. They don't want us to know that. And that is why they keep it a big secret. And they brand anyone who dares to talk about it as a conspiracy theorist or crazy. Or, in a lot of cases, they will go after them. These people will lose their career and their job for being a truth teller.
Have you experienced that in your lifetime?
No, thank God I have angels all around me. And personally, I haven't. Have I known people who've been harassed? Yes, I do.
In your opinion, is it the government that's keeping the pressure on people to keep quiet, and do you think it's the government that is perpetrating the cover-up?
I think I think governments around the world, yes, but I also think you have the religious aspect. You have other members higher up that don't want us to know about this connection.
Certainly is strange. At times the news media is filled with UFO occurrences. For example, when the Betty and Barney Hill story broke, when the Roswell story broke, when the Phoenix Lights story broke, the media was all over it. And then it's quiet. And then with the onset of the congressional hearings, interest was up again, and the 3 whistleblowers that came before Congress, who really didn't give us anything we didn't know already, everything dies again. How do we explain? I'm going to give you a chance to think about this question. How do we explain the peaks and valleys when it comes to visitations of ETs here on this planet? Dr. Joan of Angels is my special guest, Exo Nation. Her website is, are you ready for this? joanofangels.com. And we'll be back after this short break as the Exxon continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from, we're here in St. Catharines on the shores of Lake Ontario. And you're listening to us on your hometown radio, Classic 1220, and streaming around the world on classic1220.ca. We'll be right back. Whatever you do, don't go away.
T'es mon amour, je suis ta maîtresse. T'es tout ce que je veux, t'es tout ce que j'ai voulu.
And welcome back. This is the X-Zone. I'm Rob McConnell, and you're listening to us on your hometown radio, Classic 1220, and streamed around the world on classic1220.ca. Dr. Joan of Angels is our special guest this hour. Her website is joanofangels.com. So why do you think, Dr. Joan, that there are peaks and valleys in the appearance, in the interaction of ETs that make the media, while others don't?
Well, I think they carefully release information, and that's why often we don't see it and we don't hear about it, and people who are talking about it have to sign non-disclosure agreements. Now, why the government allows cycles of information to be released, I don't know. They sway us emotionally. But there were times that thousands of years ago when the extraterrestrials and the angels walked on the planet.
Really?
And we saw them in physical form.
Could you tell us about times like that where angels and
Well,
aliens were walking here on this beautiful planet of ours?
they talk about it in the Dead Sea Scrolls, that when the angels were in physical form and walked around the planet, and the extraterrestrials would come down in a physical form. Now, I don't know what's happened energetically, if they're now in another dimension, which is probably what it seems like. So things have shifted on the planet. The climate has shifted, and now they don't come down here. Maybe we're not to be trusted either. I'm not actually sure, because I've decided I've dived more into the angelic realms than what's going on with the government and the ETs now.
Sounds like a plan. It really does. Dr. Joan, what does the concept of cosmic soul activations mean to you? And how do you believe it plays a role in the spiritual evolution of individuals on this planet?
That is a fantastic question. So let's just start. We all have, many of us come down here with a soul purpose, and we all have that soul aspect of us that's on another dimension, let's say, or it's our soul contract. It's not quite known to us. But we all have that higher self that if we could see, so we have our physical 3D body, but we have another avatar that's in another dimension that we're also connected to. It's our soul aspect. It's what we're here to do. It's filled with the soul memories of our soul family that we've been with, and of what our instructions are and what our gifts are, and lifetimes on other planets. And so here we are living on this 3D realm here, and it's quite difficult for many people. It's really hard to feel. It's hard to feel celestial, or, it's hard to feel like you're a higher vibrational being on this third dimensional planet. The soul essence work I do helps people begin to remember how powerful they've been in other lifetimes, and what they've done. And I think their beauty, the beauty of their soul, their greatness. And so I do these sessions with people. I start off like doing a reading, and we dive into who you are, what you're here to do, what you need to let go of. And I get a glimpse of different aspects of you on other realms, and I bring that into being. And I create art. It's digital art. I create a whole line of images of different aspects of your soul. I create a movie for you, a little movie, and then I send you a painting. So you always have a reminder of your beauty. And so while you get lost here on the 3D realm, it's very hard to get lost if you look up and you see this amazing being on the wall. That's you staring at you.
Where do you get the information that you relay to people who come to you for your consultations?
I'm an intuitive.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm psychic. I'm an intuitive. I'm clairsentient, clairaudient, and I hear things. I get a sense of it, and I'll tell my client what I see, and often it's really accurate. The other day, I was doing a session with someone, and she was talking about her niece having been there, and the vibrations, and I said, I think your niece left something there, and you need to look under. I told her that you have to find this. She left something that shouldn't be in your house. And sure enough, she found it. I don't know how I knew that, except that it's a prompting. And if I say what I see, then I get more information. That's how I work.
How has your communication with angels and extraterrestrials changed or enhanced your religious philosophical views?
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm religious. And, I've actually grown to understand that I think religion was more of a man-made concept, or bowing to dominant beings that were here. But my concept has always been that we have a direct connection to Source. We can have a direct connection to the angelic realms. We can personally attune into our own heaven energetically, that it all comes from inside. So to me, spirituality and religion are an inside job.
Now, you also teach, and in your teachings, how do you guide individuals to discover and to align their soul purpose. And what roles do spiritual art play in this process?
Well, so I do these sessions with people, and I call them soul awakening sessions. They're really about clearing away what's in your way right now to do what's most meaningful for you, to live your visions, to be who you are, to kind of line up with your highest purpose. So I do those sessions. The art comes through because now I create a lot of art, and I'm just really launching my new website this week. So people can find it on the website. It'll say art, go there and you can see the new art. The new art is celestial art. I take you to mystical landscapes where you can see what it might look like on other realms. You can feel most people resonate, the people who like my art resonate with the beings that I create. And I do activation so I can align you with the painting. And it's really it's quite profound because it helps people feel better about themselves. It helps them feel more connected, more energy, more vitality.
It seems that spirituality and consciousness is growing in leaps and bounds today. People are asking more questions. People are questioning religious philosophies. Why do you think this is, Doctor?
Well, number one, I think it was foretold that as we move into the Aquarian age, and I think it's a new Yuga cycle, that this awakening is going to happen. And as we move towards 2030, you can feel it. Many people are saying, this ascension energy is coming through, that there's going to be something that shifts the energy here on the planet. And many people are awakening to that because it is time and it has been prophesized. And the energy is aligned for that to happen.
How do you see the world of tomorrow?
These are great questions, by the way.
Thank you.
The world of tomorrow that I'm seeing is going to be one that's unfamiliar to this one. It's one that people are going to care about each other, respect each other, getting back to really good, healthy values with healthy food, healthy water, healthy air, transportation that's, free for all in a sense. That's our right. And I think we'll see schools that actually teach children, are places where children learn how to use their skills and their talents to be the best they can be with the best teachers. So I think we'll see a lot of change in the coming times.
Well, it's about time. I believe that we're due for this change, and I believe that we can all make this a better world by getting along with each other and not acting like, which ostriches who put their heads in the sand and ignore what's going on in their little head, but the rest of their body is exposed for everyone to see. And my own philosophy is if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And we need to be actively involved in working with each other, working with those like yourself who teach the good message and are there to help people, because we are responsible for not only ourselves, but this beautiful planet that we live on.
Right. And our energy is transmitted to other people. So if you're in a bad mood, the people around you get it, and they're in a lower frequency. So yeah, we owe it to ourselves and the people around us to keep our vibe high, literally.
So if people are having a bad day or they're stressed out because of the economic situation that they're in, or they have family issues, problems at work, and basically down deep, these are nice people. How can we get them to get that good feeling back?
Yeah, well, that's where understanding that there's more to this. That I teach people how to step back. I have a little place I take my clients to. It's on a mountaintop, energetically. There's, Joan of Angels cafe up there. I serve chai tea. And we sit up there and we look down at what's happening either in your life below or in the planet below. And so the first thing is people need to have a bigger perspective of exactly what is going on. Many people are asleep, Rob. and they were deliberately put asleep. So waking those people up takes time, really does.
But who puts them to sleep, doctor?
Well, I, if you look around and you look at the chemicals that are in our water and the chemicals that are in the food and in the air and in the clothing we wear and in the toothpaste we use, you really start to understand it, you'll understand that all those foods and products are changing our hormones and changing the way we feel about ourselves and the world. It changes our energy and it's changing our health. So I don't want to put a blame or a name. You know, most people
Sure.
have their own opinion about who's running the planet here, but it's time for us to discern. You know, the first thing for people, especially the ones who are asleep, is to start to develop something I call discernment. You know, waking up, is this really true? Is that the way you really want your life to be? And that takes a lot to snap people out of that sleep.
Dr. Joan, you and I have to take our break. Please stand by. Nice talking to you, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us here tonight on the X Zone. X Zone Nation, if you'd like to get more information about our guest this hour, Dr. Joan, visit her website, joanofangels.com. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you on your hometown radio, Classic 1220, and streamed around the world on classic1220.ca. Now, if you'd like to find out more information about me, about the show, about anything we do, past guest comments, past shows that we've done, just go to X Zone Radio on classic1220.ca. I'll be back with Dr. Joan on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
T'es mon amour de la tête aux fesses. Et plus ça va, le plus t'es mon ami. Une bonne fois.
Hello, yeah, it's been a while. Not much. How about you? I'm not sure why I called. I guess I really just wanted to talk to you. And I was thinking maybe later on we could get together.
And welcome back. Dr. Joan of Angels is our special guest this hour. www.joanofangels.com is her website. In your opinion, doctor, is the soul consciousness?
It's part of consciousness, yes. It makes us aware of consciousness.
So when somebody dies, physically dies, what happens to the soul or the consciousness?
Isn't that the best question ever? Well, you know, many people go to another place. They go to a higher soul realm, another dimensional place. Mm-hmm. Some people call it heaven. Some people just know that it's like they drop your physical body, mm-hmm. and the soul is free to travel, take any body, and to go wherever they're sent.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
I do. I'm a big believer. And you know, my mom lived with me when she was dying. This was
I'm
in
sorry
the
to
80s.
hear that.
And she had a near-death experience when she was at my house. And my mom was 70 years old.
Oh, God bless
Didn't
her.
believe any of the things I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And she has this near-death experience and talked about going down the tunnel, and there was, angels everywhere. And so this stuff is really real.
Why do we come back?
We come back for lessons. Listen, I ask myself that every time. Why be here? We come here, our memory is lost when we get here. Everything's changed, the rules change on this planet, and then we have to go through the learning all over again till we get older, and then, people die again. It's a complicated thing. We come here to learn lessons. We come here to learn how to refine our soul and spirit to be better and better, to be more aligned with Source.
It's almost as if it's a circle. It's a, Born to die, born to die, born to die, born to die, born to die. And if we are this soul or this consciousness that gets reincarnated, where did this soul start from? What was the origin of each one of our souls?
That's a great question. Going back to answer the other, it's just like we get to that movie. What was that movie that every morning he woke up and had to do the same thing over and over and over again?
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog's Day, yes. And there's people that say that we're really trapped souls here now, that getting off the planet is a little bit harder than it was. But in terms of looking at, why this is all happening and who we are and where do souls come from, souls are pieces of source, of the source being that has created or dreamed into existence all that is. That's huge and vast that we can't see.
So what is your mission, Dr. Joan?
Another great question. When I was 30, I had this vision. I was an angel. I was standing in the Colosseum in this amazing white gown, with wings, and there was a taller angel behind me, and millions of people were walking in front of us. And they were in wheelchairs and crutches and crawling, and we were waving these wands. And as these people came past us, they stood up, dropped their crutches, their wheelchairs disappeared, and they went on to live happily ever after. Wow. And I felt at that time my mission was to heal and inspire millions of people. And that's been my guiding light, that I'm here to help heal, inspire, uplift, help people remember that they have a purpose, that they can live the life that they see themselves living. And I think that I bring that energy of we can do it.
Have your experiences with ETs or angelic beings provided any insights into interdimensional realities? And how can this understanding benefit individuals on their own spiritual paths?
Well, when you have a connection with your guides, your spiritual family, with an extraterrestrial or angels, you're not alone, and you're receiving information all the time. And even if you don't even hear it, you're getting this guidance. And when you get this guidance and you're listening, you can be guided on the right path for you. You can be guided on the right steps. You can be guided towards your soul mission if you start to listen to the outside, to the energies that you're getting, that you're meeting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. So something that I have a little bit of a problem with. We know that we have a soul or a consciousness. And I think I asked you this before. Where did it all start? Where did our soul, our consciousness come from? Where did the soul of Dr. Joan come from? Where did the soul or consciousness of Rob McConnell originally come from? Where did it all start?
Well, I think it started back, if you think back on the creation of time and the creation of the galaxy or the universe, there was a source point moment where source, some people call it God, but I call it source energy, started to create and wanted creation, and created this whole line, created the messengers and the angels and the lineages, and started to create seeds of souls. And the souls at some point took bodies and incarnated onto the different planets. I don't know beyond that, because it's huge, Rob. It's really huge to understand that.
I know, and I think that this is the frustrating part that so many people are faced with when they start their spiritual or, their journey, their soul journey. They feel as if they are being dropped into the middle of a trip, that they really don't know where the beginning was, and they know for a fact they don't know where the ending is. So how do we try and make sense to those people who just fall into the middle of consciousness and are wondering what this is all about? How is this going to affect me?
That's a difficult question. A difficult question because they're at a different level of consciousness. You can't just say, well, close your eyes and feel the presence of your guides and angels. That won't maybe fly. But you can say, tune in. Let's sit in quiet for a minute. Let's just breathe together and feel the energy. Let's just send energy down through your feet. And, you can take people through a short and easy guided meditation. I think for people like that, you can't go too fast. You have to start to have them check in with their senses.
But why aren't we all born with the same knowledge, with the same speed of catching up onto these things?
I ask myself that a lot. I actually think that there was strains, when they manipulated our genes and our DNA, that they created strains of people that question. And some people were born to question. And other people, I think, were infused with more of a docile, we're here to serve energy.
But for those
And
people
question.
but for those people who were born to question, I'm sure it's frustrating when you could never find the answers.
Well, that's the beauty of the internet. It changed it for everyone. You can start to dig deep. You have to be able to discern what you think is BS and what you think needs to be dug in deeper to do your own research. Everyone needs to do their own research here on the planet to figure out even what you believe in and what you stand for.
But what about the people prior to the age of the internet? Are we just to discard their beliefs because it wasn't found on the internet?
Well, no, I don't think we're talking about discarding anyone's belief. I just think more information became available once we had access to the internet. Things that may have been hidden for people post everything. People find ancient books and post them. So in a way, we now have a lot of information at our disposal.
But we also have a lot of disinformation at our disposal as well.
Yes, that's true.
So if somebody doesn't have the experience that Dr. Joan has, how are they supposed to, decipher what is real and what is junk?
That's really true. And it's called discernment. And discernment you can feel in your gut. So if it's true, if you feel that this just doesn't seem right, then you can be guaranteed it probably isn't right. If you have an uneasiness about the information you're hearing, pay attention to that uneasiness. Just because everyone goes along with it doesn't mean that it's healthy or right for you. And so we each have to cultivate that detector in our own self.
So pay attention to your gut feeling.
Yes, in particular, your gut feeling, if you start to get anxious or nervous about it, pay attention to that.
What is your most fascinating part of the work that you do, the part of the work that gives you the most amount of accomplishment?
That's even a better question. So I love what I do. I have always loved taking care of people. I've been doing it for many, many years as a chiropractor and as a healer and even as an artist. I think I like it when an aha moment goes on for people and they get clarity for what they're doing. And I love speaking. I'm a public speaker. I love speaking. I love kind of guiding an audience through waking up or through learning how to be more intuitive or how to trust your gut. So I guess I also love the teaching aspect.
Dr. Joan, stand by. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. In Dexo Nation, our guest this hour is Joan of Angels. Her website is joanofangels.com. Now, if you would like to send me an email, Exxon Nation, it's very simple. Exxon at classic1220.ca. That's classic1220.ca. And to find out more about the Exxon, to find out more about what we do here on Classic 1220, visit our special fan page at X Zone Radio on classic1220.ca. Dr. Joan and I return on the other side of this break as we wrap up tonight here in the X Zone. Whatever you do, don't go away.
Hello, yeah, it's been a while. Not much. How about you? I'm not sure why I called. I guess I really just wanted to talk to you. And I was thinking maybe later on we could. Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Old man.
Welcome back, everyone. Dr. Joan of Angels is our special guest. Her website is joanofangels.com. And Joan, thank you very much for joining us tonight. A great pleasure talking to you, and I wish you continued success in making a positive difference in the world that touches you through the people that you talk to and who come to you for your assistance. So thank you very much for all those who can't say thank you themselves.
Thank you.
What do you think the most important thing that anyone listening can do tonight to make this a better world?
Well, we start by loving ourselves. We start by forgiving ourselves, of letting go of anything that's making me miserable, anything energetic, any guilt I feel. I mean, I think that's the first step, is letting go of the heavy feeling people have, the baggage that we carry, and understanding that this too shall pass. So and what I tell people, it's like, look for the things that are good. What's one thing you can say in your life that's working, that feels good, that makes a difference for you? And my philosophy is, I go out, and when I go to Starbucks or the coffee shop, whatever, I try to make people feel good. It's just in my consciousness. I want to leave it a better place. So those are little things that I do.
Do you miss being a chiropractor?
Sometimes I miss it a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. People have miracles with chiropractic, and I got to teach them all how to take care of themselves.
So you're a teacher. You're a philosopher.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're a conscious awakening person, right?
I am. I'm all of those.
Let's talk about future cosmic explorations here just for a few minutes. Are there specific areas of cosmic exploration, either through your art or your teachings, that you are particularly excited about, and that you're looking at how that they will look in the future?
Well, right now I'm particularly focused on stargates and portals. And I've been creating a whole series that I'm going to get up on my new website on portals and stargates. Is how do we go through these interdimensional realms, and what's it like when we get through on the other side?
Have you had experiences with portals?
I must have, because I paint them all the time. Yes, there's been times that I've almost woken up in my own visions and been there. So I have gone through portals, and I think many of us have, especially at night when you go to sleep.
Is the dream state a portal?
It can be, yes. Yeah, it takes you to other places in consciousness, other dimensional places. It's all in your own head. And yes, dreams can be a portal.
Just going back to reincarnation for a few moments. When people are reincarnated, could it be in another dimension, on another planet, back in time, forward in time?
Yeah, it can be. It can be back in time, forward in time. They say that time exists simultaneously right now. If we could really see it, we would see the past, present, and future all in the now.
It's truly fascinating, yeah.
Right, right. And I read somewhere that when you get to be an ascended master, it's because you've learned to bring your past, present, and future all together simultaneously.
I was just going to ask you a question, and that last comment just kind of blew it out of my mind. Oh, here it is. Have you yourself ever had a past life regression session?
Yes.
Who were you? Yes. Who were you in a past life?
Well, that's a very funny thing. I'm going to tell you a different story, probably one you're not expecting.
Okay.
I was in a ceremony one time, and I was in a vision, and I saw these angels in the corner of the room. Oh, makes 3 times I've seen angels. They were in the corner of the room, and they were talking about me. They said, "You see, she's waking up," and the other one. One of them said to the other, "She's a member of the invisible tribe." And the other one said, "Well, she's waking up." And I woke up, and I found myself on the streets of India. I was an untouchable. I was an old lady. I had dressed in rags, and I had a copper tin plate in my hand with tarot card in it and coins, like 1 or 2 coins, and I was running after people going, "Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am?" And a few years later, or like a year later, I was at a conference, a yoga festival, and I met this man from India. And we were talking about it, and he took my hand, and he looked at my hand for a minute, and he said, "Well, that's because," he says, "do you want to know what the dream means?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, you had been a renowned Brahmin in India the lifetime before, and you transgressed. Your ego got in the way." So I was at the height of my popularity or height of my spirituality, and I fell. And it was instant. I think I died right then and woke up, a minute later as this little old lady.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Right? So.
When people come to you for readings, what kind of reading do they get, and how long do your readings last?
Well, they can come for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, or like I'll be at the Conscious Life Expo, they can do it for like 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
But the way I do readings is I always ask people your date of birth. It gives me a little bit of a foundation. I get your life path, and it's like I have a key to the file cabinet. And I start there, and then I start Intuit, and I start getting information, and sometimes I'll pull cards.
Is there one question that they ask you to answer that is more than any other question?
A lot of people are confused about what they're here to do, Rob.
Yeah.
What am I here to do? And it's not so much who was I in my last life, but maybe what galactic race am I? Am I a Pleiadian? Am I an Arcturian? So people want to know that too. But mostly it's really, what am I here to do with all my skills? What am I trained to do? How come I'm working at a job I hate, and yet, what am I really here to do?
What do you think I'm here to do based on your experience?
You? Oh my God, you uplift people. First of all, you have the world's best radio voice. I want to tell you, I'm mesmerized.
Oh, I'm blushing here.
I am mesmerized by it, Rob. But you uplift people. You decode things that are going on. You ask the right questions. You bring wisdom and information and entertainment to people. And I think you're here to on a major, big scale, to also have an impact on humanity by opening up their channels to new information, to see beyond, to see the truth of what might be going on.
Well, thank you for that, Doctor. And I must share something with you that my listeners know. We've been doing this show now for 34 years. I've talked to thousands of people. And the entire purpose of this show is to bring guests on like yourself who can make the difference or the light go on in just one listener. That's all, just that one listener. if we get 2 listeners to get their lights turned on and to get the message that is being sent to them, my day is made. But this show is for the people. I'm not here to force feed my listeners, and I'm not here to badger my guests. I supply both sides of the coin so that the listener themselves can make up their own mind. And it's been a very successful formula so far. And I want to thank you for coming on the show and for sharing this information with us. We've got about 2.5 minutes left, Doctor. What are your final thoughts for the X Zone Nation tonight? What would you like to share with them?
Gosh, all of us are here for a reason. It's not an accident. We're here at a critical moment of our planet, humanity. And so the truth is that it's time to really step up and understand that you're here for a reason. It wasn't an accident that you're here at this moment. There are going to be many people that are confused because as we step into the new energies, there's going to be chaos around us. So start to develop your ability to listen and pay attention to your gut and pay attention to the messages that you're getting and start respecting that inner voice that you have. Because that inner voice, which is connected to your guides and your higher self, that's going to be your guiding light. That will teach you how to turn on your light, as Rob says, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to turn up our light so bright that we make a difference on the planet. And we can change the energy here. So I think that's part of what I want everyone to know. We are here for, this is the reason you're here. And when the call comes, say yes.
An old friend of mine in Montreal says, Rob, remember this. You're here for a good time, not for a long time. Doctor, having the experience as a chiropractor as well as having a degree in counseling, I would imagine that your experience comes in very, very handy when helping people out.
It does. I'm also a medical intuitive, so often I find myself giving helpful hints, let's put it that way. And it taught me how to tune into people and feel their pain and understand what they need to turn their power back on. And that's what I do. I turn people's power back on.
The time has come, Dr. Joan, that you and I must say so long for tonight. We'd love to have you back on in the future so that we continue this very interesting conversation and turn on some more lights together. But until that time, let our listeners know how they can contact you.
Okay, guys, you can reach me at joanofangels@gmail.com. Go to the website, www.joanofangels.com. You can always contact me through the website also.
Dr. Joan of Angels, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I hope that we get to speak to you in the near future, but always, always keep the great work that you're doing up.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to come back, Rob.
Take care of yourself, Doctor.
All right.
Good night, dear. All right, X Zone Nation, that's it for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And, we're here to help. We're here to make a difference. And we're here on your hometown radio, Classic 1220. So until tomorrow night or the next night that we meet, or you're able to listen to us, always keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. Good night, everyone.